just hit my record button as well.
That's fine. I'm going to get out of the way of people.
Yeah, I'll get that way of people as well because they're being very silly. They're actually like children today. They're all getting drunk and racing around the track like idiots.
I'm sorry. It's a lot of fun though.
Of course it is.
Right. So we
Right.
are back with Todd.
Yes. Thank you for being patient with me. I did figure it out eventually, but
Oh,
It
no worries. It happens, love. It happens.
Right. So if anyone does have any questions, please do put them in, but keep them sensible.
Sensible and clean.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just like your mother told you with your underwear.
I'm not
it
even
doesn't
going to
have
go
to be
into
all
that
that sensible
conversation.
if you
Sorry, my English is not working today.
Okay then.
My first question is, how long have you worked with OneTrack? Obviously, you're one of the founders, so.
Yeah, one of the founders. We started as a region-specific project years ago in Cameroon, so we've been doing alternative orphan care for about 10 years or so. Um, and then OneTrack is essentially the global project where we kind of were transplanting the approach of what we were doing our projects in Cameroon and sort of bringing to other communities around the world. And so that's only been going on a couple years now, but it's already taken off pretty large. It's been really fun. So
Fair enough. What do you mean today, Railway? You're confusing me now. Sorry, that's my chat being weird. On average, how much a week does OneTrack need to maintain its amazing work?
yeah, so the students in our programs cost about their basic needs are about 500 US per year per child, and that's for basic education, healthcare, and caretaker support, so they can live with their families. There are outliers, with health concerns, transit, things like that. So that's not a hard number, but we have about a little over 100 children still in Cameroon, and then we're in 7 other countries now. So per child, we're very careful to when you take a child into our program, it's for their whole childhood. So you really need a child times 500 for 12 or so years. So that's really the number we look for.
Wow.
Ah, fair enough. That's a lot.
So you say
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
seven other countries. What countries are those, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so right now we're in Zimbabwe, the Gambia, Cambodia, in Liberia with children who've been affected by the Ebola epidemic, in Honduras with communities affected by the migrant caravan crisis. We have a team in Greece that are setting up some projects with Yazidi refugees right now, and then we're looking at a couple other places for expansion for this year. I just got back from Kosovo where we might do our first European project. So
Wow. Right, you
Wow,
get to
that's
travel a lot then.
yeah, this job involves a lot of travel for sure.
that's incredible.
Thank you.
Uh, the last question that comes from myself is, how many people has OneTrack International helped roughly? Because obviously I know the number would be quite high.
Yeah, so it's sort of so you take a child into the program, but because we do caretaker support and help the host families as well, and we've averaged the average size, if you did it, that changes per region, but it might be 6 people per household. So it's really, when you have 100 children, you really have 600 direct beneficiaries. So throughout the years, it has been, I'd have to look the numbers, but it has been a couple thousand. And that's just direct impact, and then indirect impact. Keeping the communities together, and keeping and helping the schools out that wouldn't get funding. If we weren't able to provide some of that, and things of that nature. It has been several thousand, but I'm not quite sure exact number. But yeah, a lot.
That's a lot.
Wow, that
That's
is
amazing.
that very impressive.
Thank
I
you.
have a question which is from my wife that she put up in the Discord of what is the impact or difference made by donations?
Yeah, so one of the beautiful things about our setup is that we have very little overhead. We're a virtual office with people all over the planet sort of working with us, which means that our core team isn't in the same city. So we have no office space and no utilities, and no salary staff at the moment. So really, when you do donate to us, it's nearly 90 something percent that goes directly to programs. So it is high level impact you have. And what that does is A few things. First of all, the children are removed from their orphanages where they didn't have to be because they had blood relatives living, just down the street who couldn't afford to have them in. So keeps the camp family together. The children are raised with their peers. They wouldn't be able to go to school because school isn't free in any village we work in, so they wouldn't get any education. We also do aftercare, so once they do go through our program, we help them with jobs or school or whatever they want to do with their lives. So you really have major impact, and also we do work in developing nations, so there's no such thing as a small donation because $100 that might not go so far to a local charity in the U.S. or the U.K. goes really far in the places we work in. So there's maximum impact in our children's lives for sure.
Wow, I'm glad that we're helping you guys out today then.
Yeah.
You definitely are, and I can't thank you enough. And what a fun way to do it too. So it's awesome.
Oh, very much so. Right, this is a final ask for my chat. Is there any questions that you would like to ask Todd to know more about OneTrack International?
We did also have another donation as well. We're up to $50 now, I think.
Brilliant, thank you. That's great.
53 as far as I'm aware.
53. Oh, sorry, I missed a 3.
Thank you
Yep,
for whoever
53,
donated
just
today.
checked.
That's wonderful.
Is there any questions that you would like to ask Todd to know more about OneTrack International?
Is everybody being quiet, are they? Are they all
Yeah,
shy?
My chat's been very quiet today.
Bless them. Okay,
Well,
then.
the good thing is I have figured out how to call in now, so I'm always available to come back if you ever need, for sure. So,
You need
fantastic.
to also get the game and come and race with us. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I would definitely embarrass myself, but I'd be happy to do it.
Okay, so we're going to swap out Ribeline and bring in DJ.
Yep, not a problem.
Okay, 1 second then.
Thank you again, Todd. Thank you.
Thanks, Ribeline. Appreciate it.
DJ.
Hello. I
Hello.
think I've just been yoinked across, haven't I?
You have been yoinked across.
Yeah, okay. Let me bring up my questions.
Say hi first.
Hi, how you doing, Todd? Sorry, let me turn you up. I'm very well. I got to turn you up a bit because I can barely hear you over the game. Let me just mute the game. Audio. There we go. Okay, cool. So how are you, Todd, anyway? Are you well?
Yeah, doing very well. Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad to hear.
Stuff, I'm happy now.
Yeah, I heard. I'm glad we got this sorted. But yeah, I'm going to crack straight into it. Mainly for the fact is that I feel a bit on edge because I'm very new to the streaming world. I'll be honest to you. So I come in from the other end of the scale where I've been DJing around the world for the last 10 years. So it's completely different to me. But I've always been a gamer, and then my friend just turned around and said, "Hey, come and try this." And yeah, these guys have always welcomed me in. So just to help you guys out, it's fantastic. So
no, thank you so much.
But yeah, we'll get cracking and just find my question. So over here in England, right, I'll give you a little bit of background to my question, right? In England, there's been a lot of questions over how charities, generate their money and how they actually, actually finance what they're actually doing and how much makes it to the actual, front line, as you could call it. So, I mean, with all of those questions surrounding that, how can we be sure that the money that is being raised by, because I know these people that are donating will have this question and saying is how much money actually makes it to the front line is really the question.
Yeah, it's a big deal here in the U.S. as well. So this is a conversation that comes up often. Our setup is really unique in that we're a virtual office, so our core staff is based all over the world. So we actually, because we have no office space, no utilities, no salary staff, it's something like 95 to 98% of donations go right to programming. It's direct impact with the children and the communities.
Yeah.
We take a lot of pride in that, and it can all be traced as well. We have an evaluation team that works to make sure that all dollars are spent the way they're intended. And that is a promise that most charities are supposed to give to their donors, but it obviously is something that has fallen short in a lot of other organizations. But we can guarantee that with OneTrack International, money goes exactly where it's supposed to and has direct impact to the children. for sure.
Yeah, oh no, that's brilliant to hear. I mean, obviously that's it. I mean, but at the moment, obviously, transparency is key, especially for
Mhm.
charities and any business really at the moment. So that's mainly the big question I had. Was basically just to see how it works, and I mean, I just want to commend you guys on how much you've been done. The other question I really have is, I mean, obviously you said that it goes to the front lines, but how do you actually utilize the money when it hits the front line is the next question, I suppose.
Yeah, what we do is alternative orphan care. So it's a little different. We're working 7 countries right now, and every region is different because we do have to
Ah,
tweak our projects for cultural nuances. And
mm,
but how the money is used is really for first of all for basic needs. The school is not free in any of the countries we work in, so we have to pay for all the school fees, make sure the children can get to school.
really?
Yeah, that's a really tough one. A lot of children are just locked
See,
out of school.
that's crazy to hear. Seeing as I grew up in England, like
Yep.
schooling is free, straight on. It's pretty much like the NHS is provided at the point when you need it.
It should be all
So
right.
it should be, yeah. I mean, anybody should have the right to learn and improve themselves and upgrade themselves in society. It should not be just you are here, you must do this.
And another complicated layer of that, even if you can pay for school, a lot of our children aren't registered with the state because they're from small villages where they never got a birth certificate. So they're technically stateless in their own country. So they can't even go to school until we get them birth certificates when they're the age of 10. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
there's all these little complications. So we do that as well. We do all the health care. And we pay so they can stay with their families. That's one of the. Some of them are economic orphans. They have surviving living mothers who can't afford to keep them in their house. So we make sure we can pay for them to go with their uncles and aunts and what
That
have you.
blows my mind, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up with my family being all around me. I've been through, lots of other issues that we don't need to talk about on this stream. But yeah, I will be honest. It blows my mind that there's not been people around them to support them. I mean, and you by the sounds of it, you guys are doing an absolute stand-up job.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, we're very proud of what we've been doing, and it's been nice to see it getting a lot of attention lately. So it's been a nice ride.
No, that's anything we can do, man. Anything we can do, just let us know.
No, we really appreciate it, and thanks for all you are doing. And I was saying on the other channel I was just speaking on, what a fun way to do it. I think this is such a great charity stream mentality.
You're making me laugh and blush, man. This is just a bit of fun for us. Like we get together on a weekend. We have some games, and yeah, whatever we can do is. I mean, hey, we'd be doing it on a weekend anyway.
Yeah,
So
naked
why
drunk
not?
cycle riding. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, in game, we would like to point out only in game.
Oh yeah, sorry, in game.
But yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, hey, it's a getaway from a getaway. Do you know what I mean? I'm guessing it's like these poor children that you deal with. They need this out. They need this way of getting out, and that's what we have here. And it's just the way we can give them their out, I suppose.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we always say that the best charity events are ones that you things you'd be doing anyway, and things that are fun, and why not combine the two, right? So
Exactly. Hell yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna duck out because I've asked all my questions, I believe, Fade.
Okay, I shall bring in KB next.
Thank you very much, Todd, and enjoy my Irish counterpart. He's great fun. Take care, my dude.
Okay,
you
bye.
too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh dear. Okay, here comes KB, I think. KB, calling KB.
KB here.
Hello,
Hi,
honey.
KB.
Hello.
Meet Todd.
Hey, Todd.
Hey, how are you?
You know yourself. Same old.
I believe you also have some questions, KB.
Yeah, bear with me 1 second, I'll find them again. Questions, answers. Was this? No, this wasn't it.
Wasn't it, isn't it? Wasn't it, isn't it? Go on, lad.
This wasn't it.
You
No,
can do
wasn't
it.
it. 30 questions. Here we go. How you make me remember all these things? Ugh. Right. What was the word? With the exception of money, what is the most needed things you need?
Besides money, what are the most needed things we need?
Yeah.
So I think, it's obviously, it's support. It's people like yourselves who are, either fundraising but advocating and kind of getting our name around, and drawing attention. Where we worked really hard to develop some really cool programs, and we really want to sort of change the way the focus of the global orphan crisis, is being managed. It's been mismanaged for decades, and it's getting that in front of folks. So things like this and people like you advocating for us on your channels is absolutely the number one thing we need after funds. So this is wonderful.
No. Another question is, what other organizations do you work with and associations for your charity?
Yeah, so I think what we do is we do a lot of village level work. So primarily the organizations we work with are small, what's called CBOs, small community based organizations. So they're little charities that are really passion driven, but might not have the expertise in sort of orphan care. We help restructure them, and so there'd be a lot of ones you don't know the names of, but they're amazing people who are doing great work all around the world, but aren't 100% aware of the way, but they're eager to learn the newer techniques and more contemporary style of orphan care. So
3 more questions. How far are you willing to go to help someone?
We're willing to go really far. A lot of us have dedicated our lives to this cause and other causes we're associated with. So it is about adjusting our lives to be able to help children. I mean, the first rule of charity is do no harm. So we have to make sure everything is really thought out and we've looked at every angle before we start doing anything. And we also want to make sure we tame ourselves, because we want to help everybody, but we want to make sure we can do the most for all the people who are in our program. But I know I can speak for my team that they've got some dedicated people who go really far and spend a lot of their time of their life making sure this will happen. So I think the dedication does run high.
Yep. 2 more questions ago. How many cases have you come across that you were not able to help?
How many
It
cases?
was just like so extreme that there was nothing you could do.
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, there are 150 million orphan children on the planet right now, and so part one of our mission is helping children directly, but part two is promoting our approach, which we think is a better model than the orphanage model. So we're trying to get it so that other organizations will start picking up a lot of our techniques, and that way, we can indirectly also directly help people who are not actually in our programs by sort of educating better models. But it happens quite a bit, and I know I also work for a disaster relief agency, and we often come across cases where it's not the right fit for what we do, and you have to kind of approach a village and say, hey, either we don't have the capacity because of resources, or we're working with the most vulnerable and they're down in a different village, and it's a very tricky position to be in, and it's heartbreaking. So unfortunately, it's all about capacity. So the more we raise, the more we can do, and that's that.
And for the final question, which probably was already answered in previous questions, how active are other organizations in the same goal as yourself?
So there's a lot of people working on battling the global orphan crisis right now, doing a lot of different techniques. We're trying to make the institutional care a thing of the past, or at least change it in the form it's in right now. There's still a lot of need for it, but there's also resistance. People have been working in orphanages for decades and aren't ready to hear that there might be different and better ways to do it. So there's a lot of people out there working on it, but we're not quite sure we know of anyone who is doing exactly what we're doing. But there are a few organizations starting to come around to our model of orphan care, which we think is healthier for everybody involved and all the stakeholders. So.
Wow.
I see.
Yeah.
That's all my questions anyway.
Bless you. I know you're a bit nervous, Kirby. Thank you, darling. I'll put you back down there, lovely.
No problemo.
Thank you.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, he's a bit shy as our Kirby, bless him.
Nice.
Who's next on the list? I think it's Ryzarth. We'll try and drag him up. Oh, come on.
KB's not here.
There we go. Hello, Ryzarth.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Todd. How are
I was
you?
about to say, meet
Good, how are you
Todd.
Not so bad. And hello, Fady Todd.
Hello.
What was that to you, hello, Fady? So.
I believe that you have a question for Todd.
I do, yes. Now, obviously you've helped a huge number of children. Yeah. Is there any one particular case that sticks in your mind most? Most successful from really far down. I don't know. I'm messing up here now.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, all the children in our program have definitely have trauma at different levels, and they've experienced quite a different amount of things. I can. There's definitely a few cases that stick out. We do have one of our beneficiaries in Cameroon. She was born without arms, and then her mother
Wow.
was accused for witchcraft for it, and it's quite a heartbreaking situation. And she's now since been orphaned, and in a place where it's very difficult to sort of sometimes exist when you do have arms. So
Yeah.
I know that's one of those cases that really we try to give special attention to. One of
Yeah.
our beneficiaries in Honduras, he has cerebral palsy in a place where the health attention to things like that isn't as easy to deal with. But we're working on it, and bit by bit, he's getting all the help he needs. And yeah, but definitely some of the health needs are challenging in the regions we work in. So
Wow.
Wow.
You're doing great work.
thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Was that you then?
Thank you,
Was that you
Roger.
done?
That's me done. Yeah. Cheers.
Okay, thanks, darling.
Bye.
Bye. Bless them. They're a good bunch, really. Right.
They are.
Let's go to Fancy. Hey, Fancy Pants.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Meet
Fancy.
Todd.
How are you?
Hold on, say that again.
Meet Todd.
Hi, Todd. I'm Fancy.
Hi, Fancy. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, doing really well. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, hold on. I have to tell the others real quick that ripped their time.
Oh, were you timing? I apologise.
It's all right.
Be quick.
Yep. I'm trying to do everything at once.
Don't worry. Just chill.
I am having a mental breakdown now.
Do you want me to go and tell them?
Tell what?
You said you need to tell them something.
I forgot.
So what? You talk to Todd. I'll just pop down there. You ask him the questions that you need to ask him. Okay?
All right.
I'm not.
Oh, there goes the pillar.
Off the track.
He's killed a pillar.
Apologies for dragging Fancy in there, but I did warn you guys that I'll be pulling in one by one.
No, that's
Yeah.
okay.
No, it's
Okay.
fine.
He's having a bit of a meltdown about it. Back in a minute.
No.
There we go.
Within our organization, some of the roles, we're divided into different departments. I work on the operations side, building the projects, and we have an evaluation team within operations who sort of are our internal affairs and make sure that we're doing everything right and that all the projects are being dealt with the way they're supposed to, and everyone's adhering to their requirements. We also have a media and marketing team that do all the sorts of things that I don't understand so well because I've become an old man recently. And we have an executive team that works on, the advancement of our organization and what we're supposed to be sort of looking towards as we grow and things like that, and a lot of other things in between. But we have a really great support system of volunteers and ambassadors as well, and people out there fundraising and raising awareness, which is wonderful.
And what are some of the different things volunteers do?
So they do a variety of things. A lot of depends on what their background is or what they're trying to get out of the experience. But some of it's awareness stuff and fundraising. Some of it is helping us with drafting documents or working with our financial team to keep all our books in order, or some of the people who are coming on studying like nonprofit management, assist us in a variety of ways so they can get a little experience, what it is like to be in the sector. And some have done some field work depending on what their background and what they're there for. But yeah, lots of different things, which is great. Because in charity, it's great to have volunteers for that kind of stuff as well.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
In regards to volunteers, say for instance, if I wanted to volunteer to help to do something, is there a way that I could volunteer?
Well, I think you are already. So definitely, I think doing stuff like this is definitely a volunteer role for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there's always different conversations. So if there's something that you're looking to get out of the volunteer experience, should be not just it's great to help the people in our programs and our beneficiaries and our organization, but we like when our volunteers can also benefit in a variety of ways as well. Even if it's getting school credit or whatever it is that we can do. So yeah, it's always worth the conversation. If there's something else that you would like to be doing, we're happy to try to provide experience like that. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Thank you. You got any more questions, Fancy?
Yes. What are some of the people you personally admire with, or people you've helped or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, our field teams are comprised all of locals, and these are the ones. Whatever I'm doing, they're doing times 1,000. They're living and breathing what they do. I know our team in Cameroon. We've been working with them for almost 10 years, and our project coordinator there, he's given his entire life to this thing, and he has done more good for this world than people who get attention for it. No one will he'll never get any fame for it, or he'll never get any riches. He just does it for the kids and the families, and I mean they're really heroes in every sense of the word. So,
Sounds like someone to look up to.
Exactly.
yeah, for sure, yeah.
Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm very awkward.
That's all right, darling. Don't worry.
How does the charity come into contact with the people who it helps?
So
If that question makes sense.
it is about finding strong partnerships and being really, really community. It's the only way that what we do works at this point in our charity's lifespan. And so a lot of that sometimes it's relationships we already have through family or things like that. But in order for us to really identify host families and make sure that children are going to safe families as well, and then we have people who are constantly monitoring them, because we're not there all day, every day, like our field teams are. It is about building those strong partnerships, and sometimes it's about research as well. Knowing we like to help a particular region and asking around who knows who, and sort of it's a bit of a detective job. But you need the most trustworthy people, and we have been really lucky in finding amazing people that we're working with in all our countries right now. So.
All right, and what are some of the biggest challenges your charity? So look at that in all aspects, like finding people, finding volunteers, or stuff like that.
We're very lucky in that we've been finding a lot. We find a lot of support in the fact that we are, we're doing an interesting, different take on how to battle the global orphan crisis. So people are getting attracted to that. The same old way, in air quotes, is not working because there's still 150 million orphan children out there that aren't getting assistance. So we're getting a lot of support from that. So that's been less of a challenge as we're getting attention, which is great. And people really like our vibe. We have a unique way of who we are, which is wonderful. I think the biggest challenge is, we have this great model, we have this great approach, and getting the world to sort of adopt it and adhere to a lot of the international laws and standards that are out there, but been just either flouted for years because people don't have the funds or the will. Getting people to support orphan charities is a little hard. Everyone really wants to solve the orphan thing, but they know it's a battle that there'll always be orphan children. So it's not like finding a cure for a disease, you know what I mean? So from our perspective, it's about how to make sure that the way it's managed is more efficient. And so that is a little bit of a challenge because everyone likes the old ways of doing stuff because it's easy, and there's a little bit of laziness there, and we're trying to kind of fight that,
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry, I'm trying to tell people off for something.
Yeah, I just noticed they're chopping my trees down. Okay, lovely. Thank you very much for your questions.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Fancy.
I think we have one more left. This is Skittlebutt, a lovely lady from America. Skittles!
Yes, ma'am.
Hello!
Hello, hello.
This
How are
is
you?
I am wonderful. How are you, sir?
Yeah, doing really well, thank you.
Good, good. I just have a couple questions for you. First of all, I'd like to know how you became involved in the
So I'm one of the founders. I've been in the NGO sector for quite some time, and our original project was a Cameroon specific charity doing the same work as OneTrack. It's still around today, but only within the country of Cameroon. And we were visiting the villages we work in because one of our good friends we grew up with was originally from there, and um, the village leaders sort of asked how we could, they knew we had some NGO experience, and how could we deal with all the kids that had been without parents and weren't doing much. So we sort of went to work and sorting out the finer points of that, and I was born. And so then we tried to we realized we were doing it for so long and it was really successful. We decided we'd like to transplant our approach to other communities around the world and test them for functionality in different regions, and then OneTrack was born out of that.
That's wonderful. Um, what is one of the hardest decisions that your organization has had to make recently?
I mean, there's a lot of, and we definitely want to tackle it all. Restraining ourselves is probably the hardest. And when we take children into our program, they're with us for their entire childhood. So we have to be very careful that we know we can always take care of the children who we've taken under our wing. Never tell anyone that they're no longer in the program. So I think one of the hardest things is, there's a lot of need, and we can't say yes to everybody just yet. Eventually,
Right.
we'll have the capacity to do that. So you definitely come across children in the field who we're not going to be helping, and until we're really a lot larger, and that's always a really heartbreaking moment.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, I think that's probably about it that I have. I have a bunch more, but I could keep you here forever.
go for it.
Well, no, you're welcome to always message me if you have other questions you want to answer. I'm happy to. So.
Well, let me just ask you this real quick. What are the goals for this organization in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, so we're seeing some great growth, and I was explaining on one of the other channels that we're a two-part mission. One is helping the kids who are under our care, and the second one really is promoting our approach, because we think it is, and it's working really well. It's been proven success in the communities we work in, and we really want other regions and organizations to adopt this approach, because it does more for the kids. It keeps families together, all sorts of things of that nature, and so. Ultimately, our dream is to, help a lot of really small charities around the world who really have a lot of passion, but don't necessarily know the science of orphan care, and help them restructure their programs so that, we might not be there involved in that program particularly for the rest of for decades on end, but knowing we left our imprint, within that community, and let that spread. And eventually, we really want this to be sort of one of the major ways of tackling the orphan crisis. So that's really our dream.
Right. Well, I'm very impressed with this charity. Fade's the one that got me involved with it. And so I also push it here out in my streams as well. So.
Well, thank you so much for that, Skill. Really appreciate. This is so important, getting people to sort of learn about what we're doing, and it's the most important part of what's going on in 2020 for us. So it really helps, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you for doing. I appreciate it. Thanks, Fade, for letting me ask the question.
Okay, lovely. I'll be back with you in a little while.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Skittle.
Oh, there we go. That wasn't too bad, was it?
No, that was great. I love talking. You have really nice folks involved in this. It's awesome.
Yeah, from all around the world. I mean, the most of us are from the UK, but Skittle's from USA. Fancy's in, I think it's Europe, somewhere in Europe. I forget where from the top of my head. Just one quick question from me. I mean, I think it was you that approached me in the first instance. How long have you been working with streamers?
So, we're experimenting with a lot of different things. I know, we like having a more fun vibe from our volunteer program, and so I've just been on Twitter kind of looking around at what other people are doing, and I came across the streaming, and I really just I reached out to a couple people who looked like they were doing it and having fun with it, and just as really to learn about it. Obviously, you can tell by my technical skills that I don't know enough about it at all. And it just seemed like a really great thing that people were doing. And we have this sort of supporters that do pub crawl charity events and things like that, and at breweries, and we really have a fun group of supporters. So streaming seemed like it was just really in line with what we do. So I reached out to a couple of folks, and I'm really glad you wrote back, because it's been fun watching this sort of work.
Yeah, I did some work with Sarcoma UK last year, and they'd never actually had streamers do anything, and they were really interested in how it all works and everything. It was quite good fun. So
yeah, and it's a different world. A lot of our we have cryptocurrency supporters now, and I have to learn all that, and so learning all this, it's actually really fun for me too, because I love learning these systems, and then once you do it a few times, it's becomes nature, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, I've been streaming for 3 years, and I'm still learning every day on different things to do and how to do things. It's crazy. But I think with streaming is you can touch people from all around the world.
Right. That's important.
And you're kind of live out there on like a live television screen, and anybody can click on your channel at any time. And even if they just hear about the charity like once for 1 minute, it's getting more exposure and things like that. I think it's really good.
I do too, and it's a little exhilarating being out there and playing your games in front of all sorts of different folks. I think it's wonderful. So
you can meet lots of different people of all walks of life from all around the world.
That's a really cool part, but they all like one thing, which is the gaming, right?
The gaming.
So it's common bond. Yeah, it's so cool.
Not every streamer does gaming though. There's others like arts and crafts, and there's all the different kinds of things. So have a good look around all of Twitch, because you'll find lots of different avenues as well.
I think I just started an account today, actually, for the first time, so I'll play around with it and see what's out there. I'm excited.
Yeah, there's some game devs actually stream what they're doing. People stream art. There's like ASMR, and there's all sorts of different avenues, different sections of Twitch. You might find a lot more people out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of I guess people mining, looking around Twitch, see what's out there. That'd be a good idea. Yeah.
Well, thank you for popping in today. It's lovely to hear you.
Yeah, you too, and it's nice to finally meet after after chatting a little bit. And sometimes it's usually me, by the way, and sometimes it is our media team answering questions for you. So if it's a good answer, it's probably mine.
Oh, don't worry.
So no, it's awesome. I'm happy to do this whenever, now that I know how. So if we ever want to do in the future, that's great. And thank you so much for all you're doing, because it's really great to have this kind of support. It's awesome.
I think that our next project is to build the next track, and that's maybe take a month or a month and a half to do. And once that's done, we'll do a reopening again and invite you back. So that's something that we can do in the future.
Absolutely, I think that's a great plan. I'd love to.
But in the meantime, I'll keep putting videos out, and of course, this question and answer will go out on video as well. But
awesome.
You're more than welcome to use it in anything that you need to as well.
Definitely, I'll let them know. They handle a lot of the promotion stuff, but I'll let them know that you sanctioned that, so that's good.
Yeah. So. Okay then, well, have a great rest of the day. I better go and sort these lot out because they're wrecking my track.
Oh, no. All right, we'll go get them and have fun. And yeah, it was great. It was great getting to talk to you.
Okay, lovely. See you later. Bye bye now.
Yeah.
Discord, I am the fancy bird.